everybody. Welcome to, I'm Jenna Matlin, and welcome to my most Wednesdays show, Will You Give Me a Reading? Today I have a very, very special guest. We're going to talk about a very, very special book today. We have Madam Pamita. Welcome, Madam Pamita. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad to be getting together with you and pre-meeting you before we get together at Tide in Dallas this weekend.
Yes, for any of you who are coming to Dallas this weekend, yay, we're going to have a great time. I cannot wait. It's been too long since I've been with my peoples. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of us streaming. So if you're not able to make it physically, you can still be with us drinking drinks, so, which is where we all end up. But yeah, so thank you so much for coming. I just want to give everyone a quick kind of rundown. This is your third book that's been published, right? And we are going to talk about Baba Yaga's Book of Witchcraft here. And you've done before this, you've done Madame Pamita's Magical Tarot, using the cards to make your dreams come true, and also the Book of Candle Magic, Candle Spells, Secrets to Change Your Life. So which one out of the three was the first one? Was the
Tarot book, the Madame Pamita's Magical Tarot was my first book. Yeah,
was your first book? And when did that come out?
2018.
Okay. And then when did the Candle Magic book come out?
In 2020. So it's like we have every 2 years a book, a book like clockwork, you know?
Yeah. Well, all right. 24. I'm here for it. I've already signed up for whatever it is that you've got going on. And so tell us a little bit more about you. So besides the books, tell us about what your day is like and what are some of your offerings and how can people connect with you?
My day is like a cuckoo person's day. I wear so many hats. I have a business called Parlor of Wonders, and we sell beeswax candles, magical candles, figural candles, double action candles, all made out of beeswax. This is something I felt super passionate about, sort of intuitively. I didn't know very much that it was so intrinsic to Ukrainian magic. It was just something that I thought was a very special and precious material for making magic with. And then later found out how intrinsic it was to Ukrainian magic and Slavic magic, but that's a side thing. We have a shop. We send out. It's not a shop, a retail shop. It's a mail order factory. We have a factory space. So sometimes I used to have a shop, but sometimes people go, "Oh, I want to come by your shop." I go, "It's a factory. It's not a shop anymore."
Good luck finding it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just industrial, but I do that. I teach workshops. I'm super passionate about teaching magic and tarot and magic, all kinds of things. And so I teach workshops over Zoom. I also teach live workshops. I'll be teaching a workshop at Tide, of course. And then I write. I love writing. So I write articles. I write, I do podcasts. I have 2 podcasts. One is Magic and the Law of Attraction, which is a general magic podcast. And then I also have Baba Yaga's Magic, which is my new baby. And I talk about Slavic magic from Pan-Slavic magic. So I talk about things that really relate to all cultures, not just Ukrainian culture, but I'll give the names in Polish and Serbian and Slovenian and all the other languages for things. So, and gosh, I probably do.
Do you sleep
tons of
at
other,
all?
exactly.
Where's the sleep part in all of that? Oh my God, I can't believe it. That's amazing.
So that's a little bit of all I do. I mean, that's why I say I'm a cuckoo person. I do too much. Yeah.
You know what? That's how it is though, isn't it? Like when you're doing the thing that you love, the problem is like not like doing it and like going, I still need a break, even though I really, really love this so much. I still need to go on the beach or whatever for a couple of days. Like I completely get that. It's like we're like greyhounds. We just love to do it so much that it's like but I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the book. I have some questions about it. I'm gonna throw it up on the let's see here on my document camera. This is like a super hefty, thick, big, heavy book. And I want to talk about it because really, this book, the timing of this book and what's happening in the world right now with Ukraine, wow, like like it's I have goosebumps when I'm thinking about how these things are aligning and touching and all these touch points. Are you Ukrainian by extraction? You are. Okay. I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to assume, but I thought you were.
Yeah.
And you've really used your platform to just voice what's happening in Ukraine and helping connect people to resources. So thank you for that. Like I love that you've been able to connect me with resources I didn't otherwise know. But I want to talk about with the book the incredible amount of research that you did and the huge bibliography, um, and all the research, a lot of it in Ukrainian or Russian. And I know do you speak Ukrainian? Like not at all. So it was
Well,
all
yeah.
translated.
Yeah,
Oh,
so this
wow.
this whole thing is so fascinating. How I'm a spiritualist and an animist and a
Mm,
pagan,
mm,
and and a witch, obviously a witch.
mm.
Like my path is dealing with spirits and spirit realm and spirit world. And I find that in that many decades that I've been doing that work, that the voice of the spirits really comes through very strongly in pushing me to do something.
Mm.
So in this case, I really got the push from my grandmother and Baba Yaga to do this book. Like it was super inspired, not knowing, a book writing process is not 6 weeks. It's a year and a half to 2 years between signing your contract and the actual book coming out. So
Mhm.
as soon as I was finishing up with the book of candle magic, I started to really get this nudge that I wanted to do this book about Ukrainian folk magic, because we had grown up doing these little things, but I didn't really know why we were doing them. Um, it's like somebody saying, "Don't pick up that dollar bill; it's cursed," but they don't tell you where that comes from. So, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. There's blow dryers going in the background. I'm at a hair
She's
salon
a
right now.
busy woman, y'all.
So I hope it's not too loud. Anyway,
No, no.
so when I was doing this work, what ended up, so I got this nudge from Baba Yaga and from my grandmother, and in doing that, um, I didn't know that the timing would be that the book would come out when Ukraine was so much in the news. I mean, it came out in April, and in the end of February was when the invasion happened. So it really happened at
Yeah.
this like exact time.
You didn't know, but Baba Yaga knew.
Exactly. So I feel like that the spirits, if you listen to spirits, if you're a spiritualist and you listen to spirits and you trust them and you do what they ask you to do, you'll be led to these amazing synchronicities, like really powerful synchronicities. So this book then, she just told me, you have to tell my story. I didn't know
Mhm.
why I had to tell her story. I didn't know why I had to research this. I don't know, my grandmother and Baba Yaga both say, you have to tell our stories, right? So,
Right.
so this is what the book, how it came about. So, now I remember the second part of what I was going to
Oh,
tell you.
well, just with all the source material,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm just thinking it must have, I mean, because it looks like, and I'm gonna just show a little bit here so people have a sense of the bibliography, and I'm gonna kind of zoom in a bit here so we can get a good view of it. But like the bibliography is like not to sneeze at, and a lot of it looks like it is Ukrainian sources, right? So it's
Yeah.
not like you're going to, even some kind of like university library in the US. This doesn't look like this was super easily
It was,
accessible. And
it
I'm just
was
like,
not.
how did she do this? Like, it's just like so incredibly impressive.
I don't even know how I did it. So if you read the book has a little story in it where it 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 sort of weaves a fairy tale about Baba Yaga throughout the story, throughout the book. Sorry, there's a little fairy tale that sort of each chapter has a little episode in this longer fairy tale story. But in looking at that fairy tale, you see that Baba Yaga is an initiator who tests someone before and teaches someone, right? So when people are saying that they want to be a devotee of Baba Yaga, I give them ample warning that you are going to be tested. You're going to be pushed farther than you think you can go. You're going to be go through
Mm,
trials to
mm.
really get to that place where you can be an initiate or be initiated into her magic, right? So I always give them that warning. It's going to be tough. It's like training for the Olympics, and she's your coach that pushes you, that
Yeah.
is making you train 15 hours a day. So
I yeah.
when I did this book, I didn't speak any Ukrainian except for the words for food. We would say, kielbasa, we would say pierogi, which is the Polish word. We'd call the different foods. We'd say Happy Easter in Ukrainian, but that was all I knew. So I
Yeah.
had to learn Ukrainian. I'm still very baby level of language. I can communicate a little, but not great. But I had to learn how to translate things. I had to learn how to research things in another language. I had to learn a whole new alphabet. I mean, it was cuckoo. It was crazy.
Yeah,
So
like, yeah, I'm like, I'm a literary nerd when the first place I go is like, "Holy crap, look what she did here." Like, I just wanted to really point to the tremendous amount of work that went into this. And I want to take people to, so I'm going to go and show people the general chapter because I love how you did this, how you like outlined the chapters. It wasn't just like, oh, here's just a bunch of spells. There you go. Good luck. That you wove it into the mythology because you can't really pull magic successfully away from its cultural like matrices. And so you're empowering people in a way that I don't think they know, immediately, that you're like giving them that cultural component to empower the magic that they do, which I think was astounding. So yeah, let's walk through one of your chapters. Let's
on
just
top of everything else, I got to say another thing about the research. You have to understand that something like Celtic magic, which there are a lot of books about Celtic magic in English, obviously, um, and there's continuity in Celtic magic or English magic where you can um, see a lineage, even though the church suppressed a lot. You didn't
Mhm.
have, you still had folk magic practices going on, right?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
You also have to understand now and the world sees this, but from the early teens, 1900s, all through into the 90s, the Soviet Union outlawed religious practices. And a lot of these pagan practices were subsumed into Christianity. And then we had 80 plus years where Christianity was not allowed. Atheism was the state religion. And so
Mhm.
if you were practicing any of these things, if you were not well hidden, you could, at the very least be sort of an outcast or even sometimes taken away and put in prison. So we had and then also a lot of the practices got co-opted, and stuff like that. I mean, there was a whole thing about that. But you understand that there's this extra layer of hidden information.
Mm,
So I
mhm,
was going
mhm.
back to some sources from the 1800s,
Wow.
or going to diaspora Ukrainians like myself who are Ukrainian heritage, but or in countries where they were free to practice. And I had to piece it all together. So it was not only the obstacle of the language, but the information being suppressed and hidden. So when you
Wow.
talk about separating a mountain of poppy seeds from a mountain of wheat kernels, that's what I was doing. You know,
I would watch the documentary of like this happening.
there was a lot of
Honestly,
tears.
yeah.
That's what the documentary
Yeah.
was.
Well, I mean, it's just incredible. And I want to walk people through this like very unique way that you kind of have put the chapter because you do start off with a story that runs through the whole book of Vasilina. Is that
Yeah,
how you say it?
Vaselina. Yeah, Vaselina.
Vasilina and Baba Yaga and the stories that knit and teach the piece that builds this spell work. So you have that, and then so you have Vasilina, and then you have Baba Yaga's wisdom, right? So then you have from her words, like were you channeling her yeah, that's what I was like. There's some channeling going on here because these are like they're I feel I'm being directly spoken to by Baba Yaga, like, and not like you, for example. I mean, that was the sense I got, which was incredible. Then there's your piece where you add your voice and then the tradition today, and then you kind of go into the nitty gritty. Like, this is incredible. Incredible. I know I keep saying that, but like, what did you leave out?
My gosh, I
like,
feel like I could write a whole nother book. That's what I'm thinking about. I haven't even done my next book proposal yet, but there's so much more information and things that I want to share. And so
yeah.
there may be another, I don't know what form it's going to take, if it's going to be a spin off of this or something else. But I have to give some credit to my editor, Alicia Gallo. She really helped. When my first draft came in, it wasn't really, I did have, I think I had the story and but I had everything else just sort of mishmashed together. And she says, I can't really tell where Baba Yaga ends and you begin. That's channeling. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, you need to divide that up a little bit more. And that direction, I took that and ran with it, and it really helped a lot. So, it takes a village. I mean, I wrote this, I did all the heavy lifting on this book, but certainly my editors, Sammy Sherritt and Alicia Gallo, and the beautiful illustrations from Sarah Consilia, who's
Yeah.
from
They're
Slovenia.
just gorgeous.
She's amazing too. So it really was a real group effort, and I appreciate all these women who were there to just help give birth to this. Maybe they were like the midwives helping, but I
Yeah.
was, but I couldn't have done it without them. So that division that was more delineated came through Alicia's notes, and I think that was really, really powerful. It made the book such a better book than it was my first turn in draft. In the process of writing a book, you know how that is. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. This is Llewellyn, right? Is this through Llewellyn?
yeah, Llewellyn, yeah,
Yeah. Mine's coming out. I'm like, oh God.
yeah.
So yeah, I just want to show people very quickly, like, some of that. I mean, you have so much. You go into the crossroads, right? The Lord of the Forest, and like puppets, embroidery magic. There's something for everyone in here. And all of it is so folk. Like, you don't need to go spend $500 in crystals if you don't got it, right? Like, it's like, this is everyday stuff. This is truly women's magic, because it's like stuff from the kitchen, stuff from the garden. And I just want to say I love Baba Yaga. Like I love stories and mythos of crone women and their wisdom, and they need to be shared and just
100%.
amplified. Um,
100%. This was one of the reasons I feel like this book, there's so many reasons I feel like this book is important, because a lot of these practices have never been, well, they've never been put into a book before at all, some of them, and never have been put into a book in English before. So there's all kinds of stuff that you will find. And I love seeing, like, the Crossroads example that you gave, of
yeah.
the Crossroads chapter. Lots and lots of cultures have crossroads magic. We find it in African American hoodoo. We find it in Greek magic. We find it all over the place. Celtic magic, all over the place. But the practices for, Ukrainians and Slavic people are different. There's similarities, which are interesting and cool, and there's differences. There's a lot of, it's so fascinating to see the similarities and differences. But going
Yeah.
back to that Baba Yaga, like the crone archetype, we we she's so powerful, so skilled, a badass. And with all the shit that's going on in the States, we need, everywhere, all over the world, we need these images of badass women. And she's someone that you can aspire to, because she's ancient and old. You'll eventually, hopefully, get to that place where you're ancient and old, but it can also be a badass
Yeah.
too, you know?
I love that she's a badass, and like, so I want to go to the hair chapter, because I got, and it's funny, we were saying, guys, like, I was like, oh, I want to talk about the hair chapter, and she's like, I'm in the hair salon, and I was like, oh my God, look at it. It's so, like, you just talk about this book, it oozes magic, and it, like, before you even turn it over. And so the hair, 193. So in this story, I'm just going to quickly talk about Baba Yaga. What did I say? 193. Like that she makes Vaseline comb her hair, and she's like, I will put you in the soup pot if you even tug anything, right? And so it's such an important need in society because I feel like there is such a let's treat everybody like so gently, like they're made of glass. But it's like, but what does it look like when someone who loves you and cares about you, but also demands that you meet a standard? Who, what shows up for that? So I love that you did that very unapologetically. Um, where is it?
She's an initiator. She's going to test you. And so she's going to give you super, super, super difficult assignments, not
Mm,
because she's trying to make you fail and not because she's trying to thwart you or,
mm-hmm.
but because she believes that you can do it. So I say she's a lot like an Olympics coach who says, okay, Jenna, I believe in you. I think you can get a gold medal in the Olympics. But to get there, you're going to have to work out 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's what will get you the gold medal. And so you'll hate your coach. You'll be mad at your coach. You'll
Yeah,
cry. You'll say you'll want to give up. But that coach doesn't put that stuff, isn't doing that to punish you. They're doing it because they believe in you.
that's
So
right.
you could walk away from it and go, screw that. I don't want to work out 15 hours a day and I don't want the Olympic gold. And that's within your rights to do. But if she pushes you and you cry and scream and hate her and are mad and do it anyway, you'll find that you do get the gold medal. This book is my gold medal.
It
This book
is.
I'm
It is
so
your.
proud of. But
You should be so proud of this book. It is an incredible book, really. Like I have so much respect for you and
thank you.
so much professional respect and just oh, I just really love it. And I'm like singing its praises to everyone
Thank
and I
you.
feel like this book is a game changer and is going to shift how people interact with Slavic magic on the whole. Like this is like a threshold to a new way of interacting. Like
I,
you have built a true resource.
I want Slavic magic to be as well known and well practiced as Celtic magic, as Italian magic, as these other systems, Greek magic, all these things that have continuity.
Mhm,
I want to pick that thread up again and
mhm.
bring back a continuity so that our children and grandchildren and generations to come have a template so that they can practice as their ancestors did, or I see it as an open practice. You don't have to be Slavic as long as you're acknowledging that it's Slavic magic. Come
Mhm.
and join, come and
Yeah.
join the Slavic
I
magic
think
world.
yeah, I think people would be like that, just continuing to say that because I think people were always afraid, "Well, I'm not Slavic. Is it okay? Like, I don't wanna, like, you know?" But, I think Baba Yaga is like, if you wanna step to me, then fine, we'll see what you're made of wherever you came from, was the
Yeah,
vibe I get with her. But the hair piece, so yeah, so there's a story of her combing her hair and then the wisdom of, um and it just reminded me of, like, Native American cultures as well, but that hair is power, and it was so interesting you were talking about, when a woman gets married, she's going to braid her hair and put like a kerchief and but and they have this in Irish mythologies too. I just took a group to Ireland
I
and
know. I was watching your adventures
oh
and
really?
so envious in a good
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. So like when an Irish woman curses, you know, she lets her hair down. It's like streaming. So it is very endemic to a lot of cultures, the power of a woman's hair.
I got to tell you something that's going to blow your mind about this.
Yes.
When I was doing the research for this book, my other, so my mom's side of the family is Ukrainian. My dad's side is English, Irish, Scottish, right?
Mm.
So I know that system well. I know that, there's lots of information about English magic and Irish magic, Scottish magic, and so on. And always have been really immersed in that. So as I'm doing this research, I'm like finding these weird, odd connections. Like, okay, Druids worshipped in oak groves and ancient Slavs worshipped in oak groves. Okay. Um, this practice over here corresponds to this practice over here. As I dug deeper, it blew my mind. The Celts originated in Eastern and Central Europe
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
migrated over Western Europe to the British Isles, to the
Yep.
islands, to
Yep.
Ireland, and so on. So,
Mhm.
what that shows us is that when we look at a practice like letting down your hair, if you're going to do magic, and we see it in Celtic magic and we see it in Slavic magic, it shows you that it's thousands, millennia these
Yeah.
practices have been done because
Yeah.
they both had the same origin point. My
Yep.
family comes from a part of Ukraine that was it's now actually Poland, but at the time they were ethnic Rusins, which is part of Ukraine, and they were a part called Galicia. Galicia, Halichna,
Galicia.
is Gaul, Gaul,
Yeah.
Gaul. So it's
Yeah.
Gauls, it's Celts,
Mhm.
and we see this continuity between the Western European Gauls in France, in England, in Scotland, in
Mhm. Mhm.
Ireland, and all of these systems are are distant cousins of one another.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
we see these practices like the hair practice. So when you say that in Celtic magic that women do this, it's not super surprising to me
Yeah.
because that just tells me it's a thousands
So, so
plural year
old.
old
I
practice. Yeah,
mean, it's the same as like following linguistics, that it does come from Central Asia, right? Because you had my first degree is anthropology. So let me just say that I'm like, oh, I'm geeking out. Like, you have the ice sheets, which kept people out of Western Europe for a very long time. And they were
yeah,
just mingling in Central Asia, Eastern Europe for a long time before they were able to migrate west. And you see that in the language, you see it now in the magic. It's just so freaking cool. I can
so
geek
cool.
out on this crap all day long,
Me
but
too. Well, we're gonna have long conversations this weekend. I can
we
tell.
are. Yeah, so the hairpiece, I love this. It's really comprehensive, like how to attract a suitor, how to do a love spell. Oh, you know what? I actually had a question for you. So there's this lover's hair spell where you clip a little bit of hair from your lover, right? Well, my lover is bald. So could any hair do? Does it
Body
have
hair.
to
Then I
be?
say, yeah, exactly. Then you take body hair when you do that. Um, they're yeah, you just take body hair. That's what I would say in doing that. But there's some cool spells. I mean, really weird, interesting. I say weird and like with great respect. Like there's a
Yeah.
one spell in there where if you want someone to fall in love with you, you take you take a beeswax candle. Of course, I love beeswax candle, and you burn a piece of your lover's hair into that wax, and then you take out a little ball of that wax and you eat it. So
I
you're
love
eating a piece of their hair, and I've heard all these people go, "Ew, gross, ew." I'm like, really? It's not gross to me. But beeswax is natural, it's safe. You're not dyed beeswax. I think I mentioned that. Don't get a
Mm,
dyed candle,
mm,
but
mm,
a
mm,
pure beeswax candle is natural and safe to eat. And hair is
mhm.
natural. I mean, believe me, we've all eaten hair sometime or another, whether you know it or not.
Oh, you're eating it
So
all the time. Yeah, yeah. I
exactly.
don't think it's gross at all. Like, I think that's power. And
Yeah.
I
But
remember
what
I
an
had
odd spell. Like it's like I've never seen a spell like that before. And I just
I think
thought it
that's
was
those
so
are the
cool.
cool
Yeah.
ones. Those are the ones
Yeah.
that are gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just loved, like, the washing rituals in that combing is a ritual. Like, you just and the, hrebenets, is that what
Yeah.
you
Cabinets.
call
Yeah.
your wooden comb? I was like, "Wow, that is so cool." So I could infuse a wooden comb, uh, just to, like, make myself ready, empower me for ritual work or for spell work.
We
That's
have
so neat.
cool wooden combs at my shop. We have bone comb or horn combs, combs made out of horn and combs made out of wood if people are vegan or don't want to have an animal product. But we have these gorgeous combs that are carved, and we have one that has a fish on it, like the magic wishing fish, like the
Oh, yeah.
fish, the golden fish, right? And then we have one that's carved with a unicorn image on it. And then we have these two horn combs. One has a dragon image, which is Baba Yaga's avatar as a dragon, a snake and a
Mhm.
dragon. And then we have one with a firebird, which is another Slavic story. The firebird is like the phoenix, right? So
Right.
we've got these ones. If you want a super magical comb, like that has like a fairy tale element to them, we got you covered.
That's
So
so awesome. Oh my God. It's so much
I'll
fun.
bring one for you, Jenna. What do you want? A
Oh,
unicorn? We also have a fox, but it's not up on the thing. Fox,
oh,
unicorn, or fish,
well,
or dragon.
Fox is my guide.
I'm gonna bring you a fox comb.
Thank you. That's so sweet of you. Oh, thank you. I am going to be like rocking. Yeah, I was like, my hair, I was like, let's get to this chapter right away. So, final couple questions. And then for those of you that are live, we're going to migrate over to Instagram. Um, do you have a favorite spell in the book?
Oh my
Do you have
gosh.
a favorite? I
Do you
know
have
that's such a hard
my
question,
favorite?
isn't it?
Well, you know what I've been really, really into is
Hmm.
crossroads magic. We brought it up earlier, but I love crossroads magic so much. And I love the weird, odd, interesting, cool, different crossroads spells. I mean, like can I share two of my favorites?
Yes, of course.
One of my favorites is this idea that you would go on a journey, like on a walk, on a path. So they will look at crossroads magic being done at dirt paths, not on
Uh-huh.
a highway or a street.
Right.
So you go walk a dirt path, and then each as you cross each crossroad, the first crossroad, the second, the third, the fourth, each crossroad has a different specialty as you're going on your
Oh,
journey. So if you
yeah.
wanted to do, let's say, I think this second crossroad is love magic. And so you go to the second crossroads and do your love spell, right? Or the fourth one and do your money spell or whatever it is.
So,
So
like, the shape of the crossroads, like, I have it up, like, the T shape, the Y shape, the star shaped, is that?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So then if you
neat.
go further along in that chapter, you see like these crossroads spells that you can do. But there's another one that is a real simple one. You don't have to know in your head. Like I can tell you this one right now, and anyone
Yeah.
can do it,
Yeah.
which is to go on a walk in a path, go to a park, go to a hike, or do whatever. And as you come to the first three crossroads, make a wish, the same wish at each crossroads. And if you do that for three crossroads, your wish is supposed to come true. That you don't
Beautiful.
have to know anything. You don't have to memorize which number is the magical one for the spell that you're doing. And I give specific spells for those different crossroads. But this is an easy one. Go to three, go on a walk. And as you come to each crossroads, stop in the middle, make a wish, keep your walk going, come to your second crossroads, make the same wish again, and then the same one at the third crossroads. And that's a
That's
really beautiful
awesome.
one. Yeah. Yeah.
I have a final question for you.
Okay.
So, magically, what would you suggest from your book that we could do to support Ukraine magically as well as all the other ways?
Oh boy.
I
Well,
know, right?
I'll say this on my Instagram, I make posts about Ukraine all the time. And I often say, do one thing, hashtag do one thing for Ukraine every day. It doesn't have to be a big thing, it can be a little thing. It could be following a Ukrainian creator, it could be resharing good information about Ukraine to put that out there. It could be liking a post about Ukraine. So it doesn't have to be big stuff that we do. Amplifying Ukrainian voices right now is so important. And I am like sharing from Ukrainian creators, translating a lot of those things. Thank you,
Mhm,
Google Translate, because it wouldn't
mhm,
be me
mhm,
doing it.
mhm.
But putting it out there so that people can follow these people. So if you want to do one thing for Ukraine each day, go to Madame Pamita on Instagram, look for my Ukrainian creators that I'm reposting, and just follow them. That can be one thing that you can do because that helps to support getting things out there. The more followers they have, the more voice, the more they're going to show up in people's algorithms. The power of, and it doesn't matter what social you do. I'm doing
Mhm.
Instagram, but if you're on TikTok, find Ukrainian creators there. If you're on Facebook, there's a great, there's tons of great resources wherever you go. Just find these people that are posting information about, you know, Ukrainian culture, what's going on in the fight for Ukraine's sovereignty, all of that. So that can be one thing. And then of course you can do other things. Go on a march, donate money. I've got a fundraiser in the bio. I've had since February a fundraiser in my bio that we've raised $20,000, which blows my mind. I started this fundraiser hoping to raise $1,000. We just passed $20,000 because somebody donated $700. But $1, $5, $10, whatever you can afford, all of that has great impact because Ukraine is going their economy is going to shrink 50% because of
Yep.
this war. So we
Yeah.
really need to support Ukrainian creators. You can go to Etsy and buy from Ukrainian makers. I mean, there's all kinds of things that we can do, and I list a ton of them in my posts.
Great.
So
Thank
just
you.
follow me, and you'll see them.
Yep. I hope one day when Ukraine is free and in peace, I'm feeling like a retreat in your future where we go and do like this stuff. I'm like, where do I put my name in for that waiting list? Because I feel this coming.
Well, this summer I was supposed to go to Ukraine on a scouting expedition to plan for a retreat, a tour retreat. We go to really sacred sites and meet amazing people that are magical practitioners there. There are people that are molfarkas and molfars, which are what we would call a Hutzel shaman, a shaman, obviously being the borrowed word. But these are magical practitioners who can control the weather, and there's naharkas and
Wow.
healers, and there's so many cool people that are
So
doing these
cool.
practices. So it's like I wanted to share that with everyone. So it will happen. It will happen. I'm going to
Okay.
go back
Yeah.
and rebuild. That's my first thing,
Yeah.
is go back and help
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, yeah, spend our money there. All right. Well, thank you. Here we are going to migrate over to Instagram. For those of you that are tuning in later, next week I will have V on, and we're going to do past life readings with Lenormand. So you definitely don't want to miss that. And thank you so much. I have loved this conversation so
Thank
much, and
you.
I will see you on the other side in a second.
I'll go out in the garden, so it'll be a
Oh.
little quieter for the phone. So okay, I'll see
Thank
you over
you.
there.
Bye, and bye, everybody.